I am so proud to have her on my team.
Whoa! That bitch is definitely gonna go. Rowan.
We need a weapon.
Alright, good to see you.
What is he doing here?
Things have been diabolical ever since The Boys entered our lives, hasn't it? We have been eagerly waiting for the new season for a while now. What's in store for us in Season 4 of Amazon's The Boys? Let's dive into some intriguing theories and predictions. Let's first discuss what went down in Season 3. Please be warned though that there are spoilers ahead. The episode kicks off with Homelander, just as we predicted, taking Ryan from Grace Mallory. However, he surprisingly spared her life, maybe because he didn't want to murder in front of his son. Every scene involving Homelander and Ryan feels unsettling, given that Homelander is an egomaniac who sees himself as a god and humans as vermin. Ryan initially hesitated to open up to Homelander because he believed that his dad is still angry with him for accidentally killing his girlfriend. But here's the twist, Homelander's affection for Stormfront was pretty shallow. As soon as he realized that she cared more about her Aryan agenda than him, he dumped her. He only came back to her for a self-serving birthday wish. This dynamic reflected on Homelander's interactions with Ryan. He only starts showing interest in having a family after finding out that Soldier Boy is dead. You can sense Homelander's desperation to have a family, and that's where Ryan comes in. Homelander firmly believes in the saying, blood is thicker than water. Moreover, he's painfully aware of the isolation that Ryan experiences due to his superpower. Homelander forgives his son for the accidental death of Stormfront and warns Grace to drop her phone before he flies away with Ryan. What happened next remains a mystery for now. The scene shifts back to Butcher and Huey at the Legends hideout. It turns out that Soldier Boy spilled the beans on them as well before locking himself in a bathroom with a bottle of whiskey and drinking milk cola to calm his nerves. Like father like son, right? Or perhaps it's the other way around, the son following in his father's odd habits. Yes, Soldier Boy seems to share Homelander's creepy milk addiction. Back to the main point, Huey is concerned that Soldier Boy won't cooperate because after all, Homelander is his son. Butcher surprisingly is convinced that Soldier Boy won't have any issue. He even goes as far as to claim that Homelander isn't really Soldier Boy's son, a notion he confirms several times in the episodes, even to Soldier Boy himself. Meanwhile, Black Noir arrives at Vought Tower with his plan to kill Soldier Boy, communicating this to Homelander using his signature visual aid. Homelander initially seems delighted and even hugs Black Noir, expressing his expectation for Noir's return. Deep, as usual, completely misreads the situation. Ashley, however, hurries Black Noir out of there because she knows what's going on. Interestingly, this may be the first time we glimpse of Black Noir's feeling toward Homelander, as animated hearts flutter around him when Homelander hugs him. So, there's a poignant moment where Black Noir's actions show that he indeed considered Homelander his best friend. However, tragically, Noir meets his end at the hands of Homelander because he fails to grasp just how crucial family is to him. Additionally, the fact that Homelander kept his father's existence hidden from him for decades played a significant role to this confrontation. There's a neat comic book Easter egg here too. Homelander mentions how Noir's old crooked smile was demystified for Big Homie. In the comic, this crooked smile was Noir's permanent expression. Spoiler alert, Noir's death is the only casualty in this final episode, leaving us somewhat deflated because considering the action that unfolds later, they could have given us more. But speaking of more, it turns out Queen Maeve has escaped from the armored truck that he was taken away from Vought and joined force with the boys. This is precisely what Ashley intended when she initially went to Homelander. Maeve, just as surprised as we are, discovers that Soldier Boy is Homelander's father. Maeve agrees with Butcher and wants Homelander gone permanently. A-Train visits his brother Nate, who kicked him out of the house after connecting the dots and figuring out that Reggie killed Blue Hawk. Nate doesn't want any murder around his kids. In just 5 minutes, A-Train realized that he killed Blue Hawk to gain his brother's approval, but ends up no better than a racist suit. A-Train's redemption arc isn't your typical trope. It's a realistic depiction of the consequences of vengeance. Now, back to the meeting at Vought Tower. Homelander is called for this gathering to send a message. He placed Noir's helmet in front of the 3 presenters, Butcher, Maeve, and Soldier Boy. When the Deep inevitably asks about Noir's whereabouts, Homelander, lacking any sense of subtlety, responds by accusing Noir of lying and keeping secrets from him. The implication is clear, they would meet a grim fate if they crossed him. While Homelander continues to rant, we catch a quick glimpse of A-Train peering at Black Noir's mask, which served as a metaphor on multiple levels. First, Noir and A-Train are both African-American supes, and second, Homelander is a hypocrite for criticizing A-Train for killing his supe when he's done the same. The last shot of A-Train shows his conflicted and frustrated expression, hinting at potential developments in the next season. Now, let's get back to the showdown at Voth Tower with Butcher, Maeve, and Soulja Boy confronting Homelander. For a moment, it seems like Soulja Boy is going to team up with his family and engage in a bloody family activity to take down the others. However, shockingly, Soulja Boy turns on Homelander and calls him a disappointment. Kudos to the writer for dropping hints about this throughout Season 3. Let's break down to the significant development on the Season 3 finale of The Boys and discuss how they set up Season 4. A-Train visits his brother Nate and realizes the consequences of his action, leading to a potential redemption arc. However, this doesn't mean he's off the hook for his past deeds. His storyline hints at complex character development in the upcoming season. Homelander calls for a meeting to send a message, but instead of a violent confrontation, he introduces his son Ryan to Butcher and others. This marks an odd turning point, as both Butcher and Homelander express their desire to protect Ryan. It reveals the complex family dynamics at play, where two men with very different ideas of fatherhood cares for the same child. Soulja Boy, who comes from a different era with different values, turns on Homelander, calling him an effing disappointment. This twist demonstrates how character backgrounds and values can clash in unexpected ways, leading to dramatic development. Maeve and Homelander engage in a brutal fight, with Maeve putting up a strong fight but ultimately losing an eye. This conflict highlights the tension within the Seven and the potential consequences of their actions. Soulja Boy's PTSD triggers a massive explosion, demolishing a significant portion of Voth Tower. This event showcased the volatility of Soup's power and the potential danger they pose when emotion runs high. Butcher, who can't bring himself to truly hate Ryan, wakes up in a hospital with a terminal diagnosis, courtesy of Voth. This development hints at Butcher's motivation in Season 4 as he joins the boys after helping Maeve recuperate. The Deep's loyalty task is to assassinate the prospective vice president, paving the way for Victoria Newman to take her place. This sets up a political power struggle that will likely be explored in Season 4. In the final scene, Homelander publicly murdered a protester but surprisingly received cheers from the crowd, especially from Todd, the Voth PR guy. This event suggests that Homelander's power and influence are at an all-time high, setting the stage for a potentially more authoritarian regime in Season 4. The episode ends with Ryan wearing an ambiguous smile as the screen cuts to black. This enigmatic moment hints at the uncertainty surrounding his character and his potential role in the future events. A-Train, a speedster Soup, could potentially become the last mole for the boys, the group opposing the corrupt Soup. His journey from a self-centered Soup to a more morally aware character is a central theme. A-Train's growing awareness of the impact of his action, particularly his remorse for killing Blue Hawk, suggests that he may take significant steps to make amends. Moreover, the show explores the idea of racial representation within the world of Soups. With Maeve no longer available, A-Train could fill the void left by her absence by leaking information about the Seven. His insider knowledge and connection within the Voth makes him a valuable asset to the boys in their mission to unveil Voth's hidden agendas. The Deep's involvement with the Crime Analyst Department could lead to his suffering a fate similar to Maeve's from a comic. Victoria Newman's role as a vice president may either assist Homelander in his coup or expose him, leading to the coup's execution. Butcher is likely to become the final antagonist of the series, as his character arc aligns with his path. His cancer diagnosis adds a ticking clock to his actions. Huey and Starlight may become the mentor of this new generation of heroes, guiding them onto how to be true heroes despite the danger of the Compound V and Soups around the world. In summary, Season 4 of The Boys could see A-Train's redemption, Victoria Newman's political maneuvering, Butcher's descent into antagonism, and Huey and Starlight taking on mentorship roles. Sounds fascinating, right? Let us know in the comment section what you think. Consider subscribing to our channel for more. Thank you for watching.